and shut up.
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give me peace.
Why so serious?
You take the blonde and I'll take the one in the trailer.
This is Sparta!
I'll have what she's having.
Head out there next year.
Welcome to another installment of the Screen Squad.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Jesus.
You started already?
Hey, how you doing over
Talking about
Hey.
fantasy football. Suck a dick already. Easy.
Hey, first of all,
there? I don't
Don't
even
mind if I
watch
do.
football, bro. Who
I
cares?
know, this guy. Who cares your shenanigans?
hey, you know what?
You started talking football, and I almost fell asleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's my narcolepsy.
like you in Shang-Chi again. And it's a good movie too. You're like, that's a good movie. Jesus. Well, this week we are talking about, or this episode we're talking about, Venom. Let there be carnage.
Hey, by the way,
and-
happy birthday, old man.
Venom. Thank you.
Yeah, but but before we start though, you gotta make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, yada yada yada, all that stuff.
What
Just
are
gotta
you
make sure
talking about?
people know. Hey, before we start, spoilers as well, because we're gonna talk
We
about.
always spoil everything. If you haven't seen Venom at this point and you're watching our video, number one, I don't know why you're watching our video. Second, because no one ever watches them. But that's fine. It's cool. Thank you. Thank you for watching us.
Did your eyes just cross when you
Yeah,
did
a
that?
little bit.
Did you just prove to everybody that you're that weird gremlin from New Batch?
You done?
No.
Okay. Yeah, follow us on Twitter also. Might as well. Let's get all those
Yeah, Twitter,
formalities out of the way.
Twitter, Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebookus.
Where all you get is
YouTube.
WWE posts.
Yeah. I don't run it. I don't run it. So obviously it shows you
All I know
somebody
is-
here watches WWE too much. I just watch Dark Side of the, I just watch Dark Side of the Ring. I enjoy the dirt, like the nasty stuff about the
Yeah.
wrestling world.
Like that Ric Flair
The Ric
plane
Flair
ride.
like helicopter dick thing. Oh, you gotta watch this show. You gotta watch that show, like the Dark Side of the Ring. They just tell stories. They told us a two-parter about I think it was Owen Hart. It was a two-parter, and then there was about his life and the death of Owen Hart. Father of the Year, Chris Benoit. They talked. They had
That's cold blooded, bro.
they have an episode about all that stuff, like an episode of one of the wrestlers who got stabbed in like Latin America, one of the at the Latin American wrestling things because
The one
jealousy.
did they talk about Rey Mysterio killing a guy?
No, they haven't talked about Rey Mysterio like kicking somebody in the throat and killing them.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
Give it time. Give it time.
But there's what 4 seasons, 4 seasons. It's a good show. They talked
Yeah,
about like
the whole New Jack thing when
Yeah.
he basically tried to kill a dude.
yeah, and then they have the episode about the
Jake the Snake
what was
Roberts.
it, the Montreal screw job, like if
Yeah.
it was real or fake, the Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart thing.
Yeah.
Those are the only stories that I like. I don't know any of the new wrestlers. I don't know any of that stuff. But I'll watch all the old stuff like the Hulk Hogan. They have an Ultimate Warrior episode about how no one likes Ultimate Warrior.
No one liked him.
So that was interesting.
And no one likes his wife right now too either. So
I
it's
don't
like
know who his wife is. Is she the Ultimate Warrioress?
he legally changed his name to Warrior before he died. Like
Before
he died?
he was just walking in an airport and just has a heart attack.
Not the artist formerly known as Warrior.
I think wasn't he going for like a walk or something?
I think he was walking in an airport and just had a heart
Yeah.
attack.
Like
Welcome to the
steroids.
All Wrestling Podcast. Apparently, the All Wrestling YouTube episode. Jesus. But
Well,
no, this
since
week,
we are talking about wrestling, we got it kind of makes sense because Venom is as big as a bunch of these wrestlers out there, anyways.
but Venom is CGI. So, Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah.
A 90-minute brisk walk in the universe of Venom. The
Like a
Lethal Protector.
run, brisk
This
walk.
thing
It was
is-
like a run, dude. It just flew.
This thing is like that. It's
Yeah.
It's-
It felt like they cut out a bunch of stuff.
No. It feels like I think it was meant to be that way, and it's meant to be again like the first Venom. I thought was okay. It was serviceable. It was fine. It was meant to be an old school. Like it felt very 90s. This one, it felt like a very B like movie. Like the chemistry between obviously Venom and Eddie
Between
Brock.
Venom.
That's
It
really,
was it was a buddy cop movie.
that's
It
exactly
literally
what
buddy
it
cop
was.
movie.
It was
Turner and Hooch.
if
That's
Hooch
a
would
good. That's a good show, by
if
the way.
Hooch would talk, right? If Hooch had a voice, then we're talking about the movie, not the show. Shut your mouth
I
about
know,
the show.
but the show's good.
No
Show's
one
actually pretty good.
cares about the show.
Watch the show. It's good.
No one
Show.
wants to watch this show.
Dude,
You want to
Josh
watch
Peck
it.
is pretty good.
So Venom is very reminiscent to like B movies. Like this Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
The Seinfeld movie?
You have an over the top. You have an over the top villain in Carnage, right? And Cletus Cassidy. You have this weird dynamic, like again the buddy cop thing. You have the fact that Venom in this movie is more of a hero, and he wants to be a hero. Like Venom does not want to be a bad guy at all. He's definitely trying to be more of a hero in this movie. He wants to be that lethal protector, like he said, the lethal protector. There's a lot more comedy, and it's more comedy between Venom and Eddie Brock. I enjoyed the chemistry between them. I enjoyed.
I like how they explain his obsession with chocolate and brains. Like those are the only two things that have the chemical that he needs.
Yeah, chicken brains.
No, just brain. No, the brains.
You get introduced to Sonny and Cher.
Yeah,
That's right.
Venom's chickens.
Hey, why don't you just eat them right there? They're friends.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. He developed a conscience.
Yeah, but and then you have obviously the kind of something is very formulaic in like buddy cop comedies where they break up first for a minute, and they have to go find each other, and then they help each other. They get together back at the end. I enjoyed everything when Venom and Eddie Brock were on the screen. I enjoyed the whole relationship that they had. You know, the banter back and forth, even though it's just Tom Hardy talking to himself, because that's just Tom Hardy's voice. And I also enjoyed Venom. I didn't care so much for Shriek.
You mean Carnage?
I'm sorry,
No,
yeah,
Shriek.
Carnage. I didn't care so much for Shriek, but I enjoyed Cletus and Carnage in it. I enjoyed the fights between Carnage, and it looked better than the first movie. That's the one thing that I'm gonna give it to this. Like the fighting between the two symbiotes, the fact that now one is red and one is like black, versus in the last movie you had a bluish black one and the Venom which blackish gray.
Yeah, which the colors kind of that melded awkwardly. Yeah.
Daddy.
And I think Andy Serkis did a good job as a director.
Is this
Who
his
did he
first
play?
directing?
He directed the
He's
movie.
directed.
Oh.
I mean,
He was Schmiegel.
because you can tell that there was more emphasis on like the CGI in it, like for the Venom, like to make
Well,
take
the
it more of a
acting
character,
behind
right?
the
Yeah.
actual CG, so just being motion,
Yeah,
actually being a live character, actually being there. That's Andy Serkis's forte. That's what he does.
yeah.
Man should have an Oscar, but they don't give it to CGI characters.
Yeah. You should.
But
Yeah.
and then you have the thing about this movie is you have Woody Harrelson in this one, again being very over the top, right?
As he
Being
should be.
Nuts. It's very like not.
I hated that he lost his curls.
No, I prefer. I didn't like the way he looked with the curls at the end of the first Venom movie.
Well, the curls actually felt more like right when it came to
like in the images
the
that you see
character.
Cletus Cassidy, but I mean, I didn't mind it here, and I didn't mind the story either. The whole love story that he has with Shriek. I just didn't. I think Shriek wasn't a needed character in the movie. I could see how it like progressed, but Shriek wasn't that great. And Shriek, at a certain point, when you first hear her voice when she speaks, is very annoying. I thought that was a real bad choice to have her speak.
Or was it?
With that high
her
pitch.
name was her name was Shriek.
Well, yeah, but it was very gross. Like I get the mutant power, and that's another thing that they. She's not an alien or anything. She is technically a mutant. She has mutant powers in this one, right? That's what she has.
yeah.
And then again, the action between Venom and it is gruesome. Like it is graphic.
For being
For
PG-13.
being you have like Venom putting his tongue down some guy's throat. You have a lot of like biting of heads. You have like there's a lot of violence in this movie.
But you don't really
like it.
see it.
No,
Not
no.
really.
And I think that's the thing about this one is that they didn't have a rated. I don't know if maybe you'll have a rated R version when it gets released on digital, like a rated R cut of it to have
But
all
seriously,
that stuff.
it
but
felt
I
like
think
they
it
Like
felt
cut
the
out
good
some
cut
scenes.
when they released the good cut.
No, I mean, I didn't think that this one was a bad cut.
The circus cut.
But again, it this wasn't it wasn't the greatest.
CIR.
It's one of those that it's I'm fine with the movie, right? I'm fine with it itself. I enjoy the villain,
What
I enjoy
made
Carnage. But again, before we even get to that, what makes the movie? We'll talk about what makes the movie. The movie is fine. It's serviceable. It's a fast 90-minute movie.
it's a filler movie,
It's
but
it's
it's a filler movie with a character that you shouldn't have as a filler movie.
but
I felt like the movie was too fast, like it was trying to do something, and I think it was just trying to get to the cutscene.
it's just trying to get to the end credit scene to now
Yeah.
bring it together.
Yeah,
And we'll
that's
talk
it.
about we'll talk
That's
about
what
the end
that
credit.
movie was.
But it wasn't. But the thing is, it
Like
wasn't.
it is a filler. I do think it's a filler.
But it wasn't a filler that wasn't enjoyable. That's the thing. Like it was enjoyable. It was very fast. Like again, like there was points where I'm like, okay, they're here and now they're talking about this. Now they're here. Now it's like it's really fast. It just
It's
progresses through
all
the story.
yeah.
It progresses through the story really really fast.
It makes it seem like, okay, so Cletus Cassidy, his thing was he hid a bunch of bodies. He wasn't gonna confess, but it made it seem like, oh, it's so easy. We figured it out like this.
Natural
long did it
born
take him?
killers.
Yeah, how long did it take him to figure this out
and
before?
then watching the
and he
movie,
just went boom like that.
But then watching the movie, I'm like, I'm glad they didn't call it Maximum Carnage because for a Maximum Carnage story, you would want the Spider-Man story. But maybe that's something that could they lead to now, and that leads us to what the end credit. The end credit.
Hey, I thought you were gonna wait.
We're gonna. I mean, there's only so much we could talk about because again, this movie is very very quick. You have the whole. It's literally the thing is that this movie literally picks up right where the last one ended, right? It picks up with Eddie had been interviewing Cletus to try to get out some information. You get introduced to a young Cletus at the beginning and a young Shriek, and you see what their relationship is, and what
basically
happens
tells
to
a story
Shriek.
through all these images
but
he
it's,
draws.
again, it's very very quick. But again, that's not a detriment to the movie. Like it doesn't make the movie bad that it's so fast.
It just feels like they should have put more time into Cletus Cassidy because he is such a big character in that
He is
world.
a big character, and then
Yeah, it's like half-assing a,
but
a
I have
Joker,
again,
or
I have some.
that he's gonna
I
come out
have
somewhere someone
But
else.
I have some theories as to where this might go now, where you can bring back of another version of Carnage, right? Like,
You can definitely bring it back.
so there's all kinds of there's just so many questions that by the end of the movie, like I had, like how a lot of hows came up, but you have like the movie picking up right where Venom, the first Venom ended, then it briskly jumps into like, oh well, now Venom is apparently super intelligent and he figures out stuff. I like the whole point where they're he's drawing those maps and Venom is kind of trying to break it down for Eddie, and essentially Venom is the detective and solves the crimes, and I like that whole aspect. But again, it just goes by so quick, everything goes by so quick that by the time you get to the final act, you're like, we got here very quick. It feels like there's only 3 main points in the movie, and then by the end of the movie, I feel like I prefer to see the Venom and Eddie Brock characters on the screen more than anyone else.
Yeah,
Like the Michelle Williams character, Dr. Dan, they're fine in it, but the movie really is hinged on
Well,
the fact that how
they used-
good the relationship between Venom and Eddie Brock is, how good Tom Hardy is.
but with the use of the Michelle Williams and Dr. Dan, their characters, I think they realized in the first one, they kind of like took away from some movie. Don't get me wrong, some people like the Michelle Williams Venom connection, but it's like you really didn't overuse them in this. You use them just as well, just
Yeah.
as much as you should have,
And
and then let them go.
and you get the return of She Venom, right?
Yeah,
The,
Shivem,
the,
Shivem,
the Michelle Williams Venom. Like it's you get the return
Shinum?
of that, and
Shinum,
there's a lot of things that they brought back that worked from the first one that just made it better. And again, I think the biggest thing that they did was it's just that relationship between Eddie and Eddie and Venom, because the Cletus relationship between Cletus and Carnage, there's that disconnect, and they made that point in the movie that they're not symbiotic. That's the reason why that Eddie and Venom were able to defeat him, because they didn't have the same relationship or the same connection that Venom and Eddie have. So that's pretty much like how they were able to do it. And I like the fact that at the very end, Venom gets his way, and spoilers, he bites off Cletus's head and he eats it.
And that's the point where they were able to use their one F bomb.
Yeah, the one F bomb the PG-13 movie gets.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fuck him.
Yeah, so he's like fuck this guy and just bites it. But I mean, again, it's just so quick that it gets to that point. But it's that post credit scene that for me I was like, okay, this movie's fine. It's better than the first one. It's not great, and then the post credit scene shows up. That post credit scene was for me one of the biggest things that I've seen in a post credit thing in a long time, because of the fact that it now merges a bunch of like the Spider-Man universe with the MCU. And if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and if you've seen the post credit scene, because it's all over YouTube, everyone's posted it on YouTube by now. That is a big surprise. I saw it opening night. I didn't read anything on it. I made sure I went in not knowing anything, and I was completely surprised as to where they went with the post credit scene, and what the stuff that they, if you watch it again, like if you watch the YouTube video after you've seen the movie and you hear what Venom says, a lot of stuff doesn't make sense. How does Venom, and
No.
how do they know? How does he know Spider-Man, number one? Second, how are they brought into this universe? Was it Venom that accidentally brought him in? Was it
it Strange?
Was it Doctor Strange? Was it the whole Loki thing? Was it something with that with the multiverses in Loki? All that stuff. That's the
TVA,
thing.
man.
All that stuff
TVA.
is in the air now.
What happened to your fingers?
They're right here. But like it's just it left me with so many questions. So I went back and I listened to it. I listened to what Venom tells him. One thing that you pick up on that Venom says is that all the symbiotes, it's a hive mind. So they all share one mind. They're individuals, but they also share all the knowledge, right? So and they're multidimensional. So what if Topher Grace's Venom was also a symbiote? Because they never really explained in that Spider-Man movie where the symbiote came from, right? Or in the Venom one movie, symbiote.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Right?
In Toby's?
In Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 3, they don't explain where that
Isn't it like an asteroid or something?
Yeah, but they don't explain where that asteroid came from. But if you notice in the first Venom, they said that they got
Asteroids come from space.
No, but in the first Venom movie,
You're stupid.
they talk about that they found these symbiotes on asteroids. So it came from an asteroid on Spider-Man 3. Maybe this is a way of like linking everything, because maybe even if like the symbiotes are multidimensional, they're still connected with the hive mind. So what if that's the reason why Venom recognized Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Maybe not the face, but he did see the suit.
Hey, that makes a lot of sense right there.
Right, and that's what I was.
Does actually.
As soon as I was thinking, I was like, okay, and then. But again, I go
You
back. Who brings him? Who brought him in? Was it because at that point Venom tells Eddie, "I'm gonna share with you just a little bit of our knowledge, of my hive mind, just a little bit so you can see." And then when all that happens, instantly I didn't catch it. Like I was watching it with our other brother, and he was like, "Bro, you see who's on the screen?" I'm like, "I didn't see. What are you talking about?" And that's when you hear J. Jonah Jameson, and I'm like, and then you see Tom Holland, and so my question is Venom now going to be a villain against Spider-Man, or is he going to team
As
up
he
with,
should be.
or is he going to team up with him? Because throughout this whole other Venom universe, he's trying to be a good guy. Eddie Brock is not a bad guy.
Well, there are Venom comics where he is a good guy.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole
So
reason why you
those-
have the lethal protector aspect of this Venom too, right? And then you'll also have another version of Venom, which is Agent Venom, right? So maybe that's their way of maybe they're gonna have a team up. Maybe instead of if we don't see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the Spider-Man No Way
You see
Home,
Tubby Maguire?
what if we see
Bully Maguire.
what if we see Tom Hardy and Venom team up with him to help him take down, like the other,
The other Sinister
rest of
Six.
the, like Electro and like maybe we do that and now. Like for me, I'm really excited for Spider-Man No Way Home because
Oh
of
yeah,
this.
and December can't come that too soon.
Seriously, I'm like excited, and then and because of this end credit scene, who knows what? Like maybe there's gonna be a better end credit scene in Eternals, right? So there's just so many things now. This is opening the doors for at least for me to be super excited again. I like the Marvel movies, but
You're excited. Look at my nipples.
FNA, Cotton, FNA. No, but it's like I'm like excited about where this can go because of the fact that they've opened up to the Sony universe and a lot of the Spider-Man universe. The Spider-Man universe is weird stuff. If you go back and you watch, like our other brother made a good point. If you go back and you watch the '90s cartoons, the Spider-Man cartoons, they go from regular stories to really whacked out stories with Madam Web and dimensions, multi dimensions, and they did all that
That's
stuff in the
when
cartoon.
it went a little off the rail, but actually
Was
it
good.
opened up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, that's
He
what,
brought that's when you brought in X-Men. You brought in especially Wolverine. You brought in in comics. You bring in Deadpool at some point.
yeah. But
Hey,
who?
why
That's-
isn't that guy over here telling us stories?
Which one?
The other brother.
Oh, because
The
he
other
doesn't-
brother
he does-
from the same
because,
mother.
Because he doesn't want to be on camera. He doesn't like being on camera. He's shy.
He's shy.
No,
Tell
but
him
it's
to wear a
like
mask.
he
I
only
have
has
one,
he only has
actually,
his
somewhere
GIMP
I have.
mask. His GIMP mask with the zipper.
Damn, I have one of those.
Gross. No, but it's like, but now now it makes me think like who else was crossed over, because at the end of Venom you also have that detective that somehow has some sort of symbiote in him now, right? He has something. And
Yeah, something happened to him.
right?
Yeah.
And
It's a
so
fucked up ear too.
well, yeah, he has that. So but to me that was the weirdest cut of
Al
the movie.
Capone.
That was the weirdest cut in the movie was when he says monsters and then the movie just goes like fades to black or something. That was awkward, but it was put in there. It was put there for a reason,
Yeah.
right? And it's maybe we won't see if we don't see Venom in No Way Home. We definitely are going to see Spider-Man in Venom 3. Because again, after No Way Home, Tom Holland and the MCU contract is done, unless it gets extended.
It's
somehow.
gonna get extended, bro.
Bro. But if it does, then that means you can keep Venom in here, unless they do something in to by the end of this to fix the multiverse and put everyone back to where they go. But I don't think that's gonna happen because they've invested so much in multiverse at this point,
That's not gonna happen until they fight King the Conqueror again.
and that's gonna be in years. So,
Yeah.
and we still have the Morbius movie that's supposed to come out. So who knows what's gonna be in that one? And you know that one's tied to Tom Holland's Spider-Man because
a lot of bad acting too.
because Michael Keaton's in it.
Yeah.
Right? Because Adrian Toomes is in it from Homecoming. So it's all merging together. Adrian Toomes. It's all merging together, and now I'm really excited as to what can happen now and how weird it can get, especially with the Spider-Man universe, because the Spider-Man universe already itself is weird. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens in it, and I wouldn't mind if I see another Andy Serkis directed Venom. But maybe now give him something that's more
Yeah, I like
substantial.
fast movies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the Fast and Furious movies. You know that at this point. I liked a certain amount of them. Now I don't like fast movies. But I wouldn't mind if you give him a Venom story that's more substantial, something that you don't have to just run through. They're not just running through the story.
All right. So would you rather watch Fast 9 strapped to a chair so you can't move, okay? Or so you're strapped to a chair, you have to watch one of these two movies for a week straight. Fast 9 or fuck you. Fast 9 or Bloodshot.
Why? Why would those be my only two options?
Because they're
Did
Vin
somebody
Diesel
really?
movies.
Somebody read some. Does whoever's torturing me really like Vin Diesel? Like next you're gonna say is like
He's
the
into
last witch
family.
hunter.
That's gonna be Oz.
Yeah, or
He's
just,
gonna strap you down to a chair.
is he the last witch hunter. You want to throw that one in the mix too?
Triple X.
But which one?
The first one, not the Return of
I-
Xander Cage.
Oh,
I mean, they're all garbage. Except maybe I mean,
Pitch Black.
sit
wait,
down and
wait,
watch
wait, 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 wait.
Chronicles of
Pitch
Riddick.
Black wasn't bad. Chronicles of Riddick, on the other hand, are garbage. Those movies are garbage. Pitch Black is okay because you have Cole Hauser in it. It's not bad. I would not watch either of those movies. I would just say put a bullet in my head. Just kill me.
You're stuck.
Just kill
Yo,
me
gross.
at that point.
I was like,
Just take me out. Done. I'm not. It's like, do I have full use of my hands? Hold on. Do I have full use of my hands?
no, you're strapped down. You can't do anything. You're stuck in a chair with your eyes open, staring at a screen, but you get to pick which movie you can sit through. And even then, you're
Like
watching
Clockwork Orange with the
Yeah.
folks in your eyes.
Oh.
Yeah, you're watching
gonna-
watching Fast 9 with the commentary.
With the Vin Diesel commentary. Family. Just seen family for like 2.5 hours straight.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh. Oh god.
That's him in real life too.
I'd rather watch Beautician and the Beast.
That's not bad. Don't hate on Beautician and Beast.
No, but
With the best James Bond.
yeah. Fran Drescher. Speaking of which, speaking of James Bond, I thought that they had delayed No Time to Die to next year. I didn't even know it was coming out next week.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like Skyfall. I think the only James Bond movie, and I've said it,
Casino Royale.
Quantum.
Casino Royale. That's the only
Oh,
one
Casino
that I like.
Royale. Casino Royale's good.
Because Quantum of Solace is literally
With
Casino
what's
Royale
his
Part
name?
2.
With this guy.
Daniel Craig, yeah.
Yeah, with this guy.
Yeah, the Daniel Craig movies, the only one I liked is Casino Royale. And Quantum of Solace should have just been called Casino Royale Part 2 because it literally is just a part 2 of that movie. Not a its own story. It's just a part 2 of that movie. But I didn't even know that one was. I thought that one was going to be delayed again till next year. I might not watch it. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I know we'll see.
I still gotta watch Spectre.
And it's not great.
I mean, I still want to see it.
Like people like juice over Skyfall and Spectre, and I prefer. I'll just watch. You know why I
I'll tell you
like Casino
something.
Royale? You know
the
why?
soundtrack, the title song's been pretty good.
The only one that I enjoyed watching, and I think it's because it's very different to all the other ones that they made, was Casino Royale. It was more grounded. It was like a more visceral Bond. It was enjoyable movie.
Rip Bond and his little like baby blue.
I'm going to
Speedo.
watch it. I'm going to watch it, but not yet because I just started going through all the Bond movies. I'm still going through the Sean Connerys.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm starting from the
I
beginning.
definitely prefer Daniel Craig over Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, yeah.
Pierce Brosnan was like 90 years old compared to Daniel Craig
Or Timothy Dalton.
or Timothy Dalton.
You leave Timothy Dalton alone.
Shut up. I do like Roger Moore and Sean Connery.
I like Roger-
Sean Connery the best.
I like Roger Moore in The Quest
like
with
Roger
Van
Moore.
Damme.
And we always go back to Van Damme or
No,
Not in,
Steven
not in
Seagal.
Boat Trip.
Boat Trip.
Bort Trip.
Or
Bort-
How to say my name? Bort. No, in Boat Trip. He's also good in Boat Trip. I don't know. I like Boat Trip. I think Boat Trip is a funny movie. I still think
Yeah,
it's
I
a
like
funny
that
movie.
movie.
I mean, Horatio Sanz isn't that super funny,
No,
but he's
I like him
enjoyable
in that
this
movie.
movie. He's not great in other movies, but he's good in this movie. Cuba Gooding Jr. is good. If you haven't seen Boat Trip, check out Boat Trip.
Oscar-winning.
Seriously,
Cuba Gooding Jr.
I'm a letter writer. That's where I get that. That's where I get it from. You know, that's where that comes from. Boat Trip.
Rosalind Sanchez.
Yeah. Will Ferrell. Remember, Will Ferrell's in it. Artie Lang is in it.
I forgot.
remember
Will
that.
Ferrell's
But Will Ferrell's in it just for like a little bit.
in the beginning, yeah. in
and
the
that's like the
beginning.
fun. That's like some of the best.
They're the ones that sell them the tickets.
Yeah. You guys got. If you haven't seen Boat Trip, check out Boat Trip. You will not be disappointed.
Now, if you get a chance as well, watch Dirty Work and Screwed. Why?
Which one? Screwed is with Dave Chappelle too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle's in that one. Yeah.
Dave Chappelle, Danny
watch,
DeVito.
watch Boat Trip.
Oh, McDonald.
Danny
Watch Boat
DeVito.
Trip. No, definitely watch Boat Trip. But
Danny DeVito, well, he still has his penguin costume on.
But back on track, it's like definitely check out. Okay, if you Venom is in theaters now. released. Check it out. The post credit scene really does make up for the speed of the movie because
For the
again,
movie.
like
You will
like
thank you.
For
like
the
every,
entire movie.
like everyone says is like we had said today, the movie is very fast paced. It's just trying to get to that post credit scene because
Yeah.
that's the big payoff because that's
Yeah.
what everyone's been wanting. You can't have Venom without some sort of Spider-Man relationship. That's the thing. So who knows where it's gonna go from here now? Then now that Venom's
Yeah.
been
So our
introduced to,
suggestion is go watch it in theaters, and you'll thank us for your erection.
yeah, the erection selection.
It wasn't that.
It did give me okay. I will say
Come
that
on,
this
I
is one
like
of the first few
the
movies. One
song.
of
The
the first
song
movies.
running in my head at the time was "Se me paro, ta-na, ta-na, se
Easy,
me paro."
easy, easy. No, but I do think that
El corazón.
this is one of the first. This is one of the first, like one of the first post credit scenes in a long time where I had like whoa, like the literal like goosebumps because I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Oh, because the AC was on.
Easy,
That was me.
Turbo. Easy.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna
This
sugarcoat
guy.
it. I
It's
enjoyed it.
good.
It was that.
Goosebumps.
It's because he was wearing a
was that
tank
good.
top in a
Yeah, it was
cool
cold.
theater. That's
No,
why.
no, no.
that's true.
I had my sweater on because
You still-
I've learned better. I wear pants and a sweater in the movie theater because they crank that mother up. Unless you're in Thousand Oaks, where their AC doesn't work apparently when you watch Shang-Chi and you have someone who's sitting next to you snoring.
And write a letter.
I did.
I'm a letter writer.
I'm a letter writer. But on that note, guys,
Yeah, I had
definitely
a
check
chicken
out
cob salad when I watched it. So it's not bad.
chicken cock salad.
Yeah,
But definitely check out Venom. I mean, if you
because it's attached to the same
Hey,
dude.
did he ever pay you back for that Alamo meal?
no,
What?
no.
Bitch, I could have sworn I paid you back for
But
that.
let's not bring up anybody paying anyone back for anything at this point. Guys, come on now. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, but on that note, guys, definitely check out Venom. Venom is it's enjoyable and it's that post credit scene that really does make the movie.
It's worth watching in a theater.
Yeah,
It is.
definitely. I saw it in Dolby,
I
and
saw it in IMAX.
I saw it in Dolby, and I was pleasant. Again, I was pleasant. I went in again not knowing much about it, trying to stay away from things, especially the spoilers online. And if you compare it to the first Venom, it's a better movie, better paced, faster, and it's the relationship between Eddie and Venom that really does make it for me. But then by the end of it, I'm like, okay, this movie's serviceable. But you get to that post credit
Yeah.
scene, and that's it. That really does.
Yeah.
And
That was the movie for me.
Yeah.
That was the movie because I felt the movie was too rushed. It was just blurring through everything, and even the name is Carnage.
yeah.
Let there be carnage, and Carnage is only in for a few minutes. It's not even that
Yeah.
long.
And then-
You don't see what he can really do.
But you do they do have little glimpses of what he can do, and it's funny because I remember being a kid and playing the game Maximum Carnage, right, with Spider-Man and Venom, and some of the stuff Carnage does in the game, like with the axe hand, like just in the comic book, all that stuff is in the movie, but it's very quick. Like he does it, he does things very very quickly.
Yeah.
Like Venom, but when they show Carnage, Carnage is like a passing thing. I do like the fact that his voice, I believe it is also voiced by Woody Harrelson, right? Carnage was voiced by Woody
Yeah.
Harrelson.
I believe so too.
It's a distinctly different voice to Venom, right?
Yeah,
And-
I mean, I think the only gripe that most people have for that is the fact it's not a higher pitch. Like
It
it's
had
not
a
higher
southern
pitch voice.
twang though. Had the
yeah,
southern twang.
it kept like Cletus's kind of like slang, like draw and all that.
Howdy.
Yeah, and I again.
Let's get the varmint.
Again, I that's one thing. Maybe it could have serviced with more,
Sounds like Yosemite.
like stretching out some of the scenes a little bit
I'll
more.
show you bad.
It could have been better with stretching out some of the scenes more. But again,
Yeah.
it does not make it a bad
That's
movie.
not the point of the movie. The point of the movie is to get to the cutscene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the problem.
yeah, and I mean, and it's not.
I'd
big
rather watch
problem.
the first one again.
No, I would watch this one again. I enjoyed it, even though it was fast. It was like quick, but it's that post credit scene that makes up for it. And the fact that now
I don't
now everything's in
feel
in
like
that
there's a
same universe.
like with the story. I'm not getting wrong. It's all about the post credit scene. That's all it's about. But if you really want to nitpick at the movie, it felt like it was. There's part of it where it wasn't consistent to like what the story was in the first one, like the way they acted, and then the way you went into part two. It's like they they obviously went, oh shit, we just threw all that stuff away. We gotta remake this stuff real quick so we can put it together. We didn't know we didn't know we were gonna make a part 2. So
Well, I mean, they did know they were gonna make a part 2 because they did a post credit scene in the first movie. So
yeah, no, but I'm saying it just felt like they got rid of something and just had to recreate it and didn't come out the same. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But even then, it is about the post credit scene. It's not really.
I mean, it was way better than any of those last X-Men movies. It was enjoyable.
Or Thor Dark World, or
yeah,
better than.
It's enjoyable. So I mean,
even better than New Mutants.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. Man, I wiped my ass with it today, and it looked way better than New Mutants.
On that note, guys, like and subscribe. This has been Vinny.
This is Ozzy wiping his ass.
And
We'll see you guys next week.
Don't be gross.